Even if you've got about as much interest in motorbikes as I do in hair straighteners, you probably know what Harley Davidson is. It's an American thing. It's long, it's low, it's loud, and it's just pure Americana. But this is also a Harley Davidson, and it's kind of none of those things. It swaps cubic inches for electric horsepower, 105 of them. It's got 160 newton meters of torque, and it's a very, very high-tech Harley. We've just been out in the hills around Barcelona riding it for about an hour and a half, and do you know what? I'm actually pretty impressed. The first thing to say is that whole electric feeling, you forget about that within about 2 miles. Whoever's done the throttle mapping has done it so well that you're not really thinking about what you're doing with your right hand. You twist it and you go exactly as much as you think you're gonna go, if that makes sense. There's different riding modes. There's a rain mode, which really softens off the top end. And yes, the motor does give you a bit of a top end rush, but you're probably just gonna leave it in sport mode and gas it as hard as you dare out the corners with the traction control light blinking. The mass does weigh 250 kilograms, which you don't notice once you pull away, but you do as soon as you get into your first big braking zone. You're gonna probably wanna add 50 to 100 meters onto your braking zones if you're properly going for it like we just were, because it's a lot of bike to slow down, frankly, 250 kilos, and you're kind of into the ABS quite quickly. The rear brake you'll use a lot as well, but again, you'll be straight into the ABS with that. There's lots of chirping, lots of flashing, but you'll get around corners, and the handling is actually the thing that surprised me the most, because once you've got your corner speed sorted out, you can carve around the corners better than you would think for a Harley and for a big electric bike. I don't think anyone, even the fast guys here, properly decked it out. The pegs are quite high and for a naked bike. And yeah, it kind of tracks the line pretty well. Mid-corner bumps, you do feel the weight kind of shifting around on suspension. But yeah, really impressed. Like, we were properly going for it out there, and no one was having any moments. There's a few little front end twitches when you've kind of gone a bit too hot into the corner and you're still trail braking a bit. That's when you feel the mass. But as a toy for going out and thrashing around on a weekend, it's actually a lot better and a lot more fun than you think. And the whole electric part of it kind of really changes the way you approach your riding. You're suddenly not thinking about changing gear, obviously. You're just thinking about your lines through the corners. Better than I'm thinking about my lines for this. And you're just kind of having a lot more fun. You're kind of thinking about your riding, do I need to brake here? Can I carry speed through here? And just not having a gearbox or an engine really focuses your mind on the cornering. So yeah, in short, there aren't that many downsides. It could do with a diet, but the battery technology is still quite young, and that's getting better every year. It's quite expensive at £29,000 in the UK. So I think it's actually going to be a pretty decent bike to live with. You're going to get about 100 miles range in the real world, 150 max if you stick it in the extra range mode or rain mode and just go really light with your right hand. It's got proper CCS charging port under here, just like you'd get on a Jaguar I-Pace or a normal car. So you can use a DC fast charger, which will give you about 192 miles more range in an hour. The battery will only hold 150 miles of electricity petrol. So you can work that out for yourself. It's going to take less than half an hour probably to get a decent chunk of riding out of it. But how often do you really run your petrol bike down to zero? You don't. And if you can plug this in at home on a 3-pin socket, it will charge overnight and you'll have a full charge for the next ride. So yeah, Harley LiveWire, I'm very impressed, and I'm a bit surprised that Harley has come out with such a high-tech thing. It's not a very Harley Davidson thing to have done, and they've done a cracking job of making a very good electric motorcycle. Thank you for watching.